If you ever want to bring an alligator to school, don't! Happy April Fool's Day. I have no April Fool's jokes for you, but I do have a link that I'm adding to this email that will give you the history of April Fool's Day, and it's a movie. It's like a video, actually, and it's wonderful. So it's a perfect lesson for you if you're interested in learning about the history of April Fool's Day. So for April Fool's Day, I thought it'd be fun to read a book that's actually a position writing book, and I bought this for our classroom. If you ever want to bring an alligator to school, don't! If you ever want to bring an alligator to school, don't! It's her position. It's her opinion. It's opinion writing. If your teacher tells you to bring something from nature for show and tell, she means a hollow stick or a bird's nest or some sparkly rocks. She does not want you to bring an alligator. If you bring an alligator anyway, she'll tell you that alligators are trouble. You tell her that it's okay and that you know all about alligators. This alligator will be quiet and good, and you won't eat anyone. Cross your heart. But during spelling, your teacher will hear her laughing. She's writing chat, chat, chest, chip, chimp, chomp. This is because the alligator will be showing you funny pictures. No. Your teacher will write your name on the board, Magnolia. And now you'll have to stand last in line for lunch. You take away the crayons and tell the alligator to be quiet and wait for show and tell. Then during art, an airplane will fly across the room, flat. This is because the alligator will be showing you origami. Look how much origami. That's funny. Your teacher will draw a check by your name. Check. And now you'll have to stand from recess. You'll take away the paper and order the alligator to be good and wait for show and tell. During math, you'll notice the alligator is hungry. That's a fantastic illustration. You give the alligator 3 pieces of your favorite gum. Uh-oh. And beg him to not eat anyone, for Pete's sake, to wait for show and tell. The good thing is that you'll stop him from eating any kids. The bad thing is that the alligator will smack and twirl the gum. And your teacher will notice. Look at these illustrations. She'll draw 2 more checks by your name. Check, check. And an underline. Now you'll have to wait. Now you'll have to go to the principal's office after school. During lunch, you won't even get to eat your egg and cheese sandwich because somebody will gobble up everything but the crusts. By now, of course, you'll wish you'd brought a hollow stick or a bird's nest or some sparkly rocks for show and tell instead of an alligator. By now, you'd rather have some dirt than an alligator. You will wish this alligator would just go home. Well, here's what I would do if I were you. First, at show and tell, you'll sit quietly and learn about hollow sticks and bird's nests and sparkly rocks. Then it'll be your turn. You'll tell how alligators are super big, 12 feet, and how alligators have over 74 super sharp teeth. These seem like they're facts about alligators. It's like an animal research. All tied into an opinion writing. And how alligators are super tough. It's a fact. They're strong and they're tough and they aren't scared of anything except other alligators and humans. Oh, a booga, booga, booga! That's the solution. Your teacher will be impressed. You might not even have to go to the principal's office for all the mischief that day. She's bowing. But then again, you might have to. So in closing, yeah, if you ever want to bring an alligator to school, don't. They're trouble. That was a great book. I hope you're clapping. I'll clap for myself. Now I will tell you this, thank you boys. I will tell you this, that when I bought this for the class, I was thinking about an opinion writing. It's a creative writing with opinion and researching an animal. So, since I was going to introduce that to you in school, I hope it's okay if I share that idea with you. And if you're interested, you can do it at home. But if not, go play outside. But the idea is, and you can pause the video after you get a piece of paper and a pencil, because you'll need one piece of paper to create a graphic organizer to set up your writing. So go ahead and do that. You can pause me and get your piece of paper and a pencil. So you have your piece of paper and your pencil, and the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to decide what animal are you going to choose and where are you going to say you shouldn't take it. So think of an animal and then write down the setting. And I'll show you what this looks like. So what you can do is you can do the character, and then you can do the animal. And then if there's a human, that's going to be in your story. So you can do that. Feel free to pause this if I'm going too fast. Create your setting. Where are you going to be going? And then we're going to come up with some transition words. Now I'm going to give you a little hint. This is what I got from the book. They started with if you, and if you write your transition words right now, it'll really help you as you do your writing. If you go ahead and choose at least 6 transition words, start with, if you can do then, when, once, during, and at the end you want to do finally. And then once you have that figured out on your piece of paper, why don't you go ahead and write Oreo on it. Remember, you start off with your opinion. R is for a reason, or you could think of it as what caused it. The E is evidence. Now these are the effects mixed with facts. And then your opinion you're going to restate. So go ahead and write Oreo on your paper and hit pause. Now, once you're done with Oreo, you're going to need a section of your paper for animal facts. So whatever animal you chose, you're going to want at least 3 facts to incorporate. Now, if you wanted to do like 6 facts or 7 facts, you can incorporate them on each page. You don't have to put all your animal facts in one part of the book. They could be spread out throughout the whole book, and that's really fun. Then for your actual writing of your graphic organizer, just to get your pieces all organized here, you're going to start with stating your opinion. Don't bring, and say your animal to, let's say don't bring a lion to the beach. Give your first reason. If you bring a lion to the beach, then, so you give your reason and give your evidence. Now, maybe what's your lion going to do at the beach? Is it going to roar, try to match the waves and scare people? Maybe you give a fact about the lion's roar. Start off with another transition word here. Once it roars, then you'll notice that it wants to frolic in the waves and swim with the surfers. And your evidence can be some information about swimming, I guess. And then another reason could be during the time you're playing, doing sand castles, it will start to hunt or hide behind it and give some evidence there. Now you have your beginning, your middle, and your end. So as you go with your re, and you have your transition words and your evidence, you can end up with finally and then restate your opinion. So that will actually, if you copy that down, that on a piece of paper, pretty much it's o. And you can have as many of these REs as you want, but really that's your cause and effect on each of the pages. And if I notice in the book, just really quick, if you want to bring an alligator to school, don't. The first page says, if your teacher tells you to bring something from nature for show and tell, she means a hollow stick or a bird's nest or some sparkly rocks. You could start it off like if your parents ask you to grab some entertainment for the beach, they mean a pail and a shovel and some, a beach towel or something. Goggles. Mm-hmm. And then you can go ahead and state your opinion. They do not want you to bring like a lion to the beach, for example. And then if you bring an alligator anyway, you can say if you bring a lion anyway. So maybe someone starts off, and then you go ahead and you can give your information, kind of a fact, or that it'll be no problem. Now this is your first reason, something that your animal does that's not helpful, not so great. And you notice the transition word is but. Actually, I'm going to go back and show you these transition words. If you, and then it says, but, And then it says, this is because, so you could do this is because, and then what happens because of that. So you have your reason, and you have your evidence, and then you have another transition word, then. So then what happens? And then you have your reason, and here's your evidence. And it says this is because, that's another transition word. And over here, this is what happens now in the book to help it keep flowing. And you don't want to just do reason evidence when you actually do your draft. You want to add more to your story. So once you get your graphic organizer filled out and you add it to a story, you're going to want to go back the next day and add way more voice and details and sensory images. And it says, and now you'll have to, this is more of something else that happens. And this is during math. You'll notice Alligator's hungry, so there's kind of a reason it's doing that. And then here's your evidence. You got another, and your teacher will notice. So here's something else that happens. So it gives it more filling in the story. And here's another transition word, during lunch. It's reason and evidence. But now, of course, so now you're adding something else. And then now we have more transition words. First, and then probably then next. Then you have some more animal facts. You can tie in your animal facts throughout your whole story. This is kind of funny. Let's get rid of it. This is kind of just adding some voice into the writing. Some more detail, so it's not just the re. Here it says, but then. Now if you'll notice, and they restate their opinion at the end. They restate their opinion. And if you notice, it was solved by the animal running away, but yours doesn't have to end that way with that solution. So I hope if you wanted a creative writing that was also tied into position writing, you might be inspired by this book. Because remember that the 3 types of writing we study in the school year, the 3 modes are narrative, which is like journaling or telling us about a simple problem and a solution, but doesn't have to have a problem, of a character. It just basically what happens in their life. And then you have a position writing or opinion, which would be this kind of a writing, or it could be nonfiction based. And then of course you have your expository, so your research, which could also tie into this. So really, you could easily tie a lot of writing styles into this one creative writing piece, which is pretty cool. Well, I hope you have been inspired, and if anything, you just remember how much writing we did in class, and this could have been really fun. I can see some really cool animal drawings with some great information and facts about animals, and I can see a huge bulletin board display and really a lot of creative projects being done with this idea just from based off this book. So if you do end up writing, I would love for you to share it with me, or you can take a picture and share it with me, because remember, there are lots of ways to present a writing. You don't just have to type it. So it could be any kind of project. You could draw me a huge 3D animal and have the writing within it, or just type it up on Google Doc. Anyway, happy April Fool's Day. I hope you have a great day and have lots of fun. Bye.